So Ben Carson is probably my least favorite candidate out of the Republican field, um, which used to be Scott Walker, but that I'm not even going to get into that. He made up a story that he was given a scholarship to West Point, and it was discovered that they do not give out scholarships. So how could he have ever gotten one to begin with? And he fessed up to it. Um, this is good, but there are many other things he needs to fess up to. CNN put out a story or an article was titled "A Tale of Two Carsons" or "A Tale of Two Ben Carsons" or something to that effect. And they were talking about these stories he reiterated from his past of how, when he was in junior high, he almost stabbed somebody, and he tried to hit his mother with a hammer. Um, all of these people that they interviewed throughout this article just go, "Oh, I don't remember that. Are you sure that happened? I can't for the life of me remember that." All of them kept saying these stories they had no memory of, no recollections of. He goes on Bill O'Reilly's little talking point commentary shtick, and I said shtick, not the other word, um, and just starts talking about, oh, well, they weren't even there. I don't know what you're talking about. They didn't go there. They weren't with me. No, they were not involved. Oh, what's going on? I don't know what they're talking about. And it's amazing to me to see a guy in his 60s, which, first of all, if you're that old and you're still thinking about what you did in junior high and talking about that now, talking about that more than anything else in more recent years, or, I mean, when I think of monumental moments in people's lives, I would think, when they graduated from middle school, high school, college, when they had their first kid, their children, when they were married, all just different accomplishments. His accomplishments he could talk about when he was a doctor or when he was a neurosurgeon before he retired 2 years ago. But instead, all he can do is talk about these stories of his past over and over and over again. I get so sick of it. If I wanted to know about his past, I would read his book. I don't understand why the man can't just stick to substantive issues and stray from telling these stories that have nothing to do with anything. Who cares if he stabbed somebody over 50 years ago? What does that have to do with foreign policy? Who cares if he almost hit it? Well, obviously, I'll get into that later. But who cares if he almost hit his mother? What does that have to do with social policy? Is that part of his plan to combat the war on women, as has been called? Which, another thing I have a problem with is and really this is the only part that kind of redeems him to me a little bit. Why would he make this up? I mean, CNN did their whole thing trying to, kind of, I guess, be as fair and balanced as they could, kind of like their superior Fox News, who is, is always fair and balanced. They always tell the truth. But why would he lie about these things? Why would he make this up? Why would he go and say, oh, okay, you know what? I'm going to go and say I hit my mother or I tried to hit my mother. And then, you know what? I'll also say I almost stabbed somebody. No rational person running for the highest office in the land would go this far out of their way to just go and demonize themselves when they were younger, or paint this picture of them in their younger years to just be this person that had lots of problems. I can't imagine anybody else doing that. And some of them probably do have pasts that, include one or two shady things. You had Obama talking about when he did, smoked or whatever. Whatever. A whole bunch of people do that. I can't imagine a guy going out and just saying, I almost tried to hit my mother. So that's the part that makes me almost believe him. But then when you have the station going and saying, oh, well, these people said this and this person said that. So it's getting so sketchy and so confusing that, okay, let's say I believe you. Why would you do that? Why, what is the point of you telling me this story? That's the question I have for him, if this is true. The other question is, what goes through your mind where you think telling this is a good idea in running for an office that we're supposed to trust you in, and now we know that you were just out of control when you were younger. And it was pointed out during today's airing of Fox, that CNN, in trying, I guess, backtrack on his story that he's been telling, is kind of painting him in a more positive light than he's doing himself. They're saying he was a good guy, and he said, "Oh no, I wasn't." So there are more conflict. And again with CNN, why would you go out of your way to make a guy look good? All these people saying, "Oh, he was great, he was nice, he was this, he wasn't that way." So none of this makes sense to me. It doesn't add up. What is this? I would have never thought a guy who went to Yale, one of the most prestigious schools in the entire country. The day I get in there is the day hell freezes over. It's that prestigious. Um, it's way above my head. How do you just completely not even think about the repercussions of telling stories like that? I mean, he said the thing about his mother, or his attempt at hitting her, or assaulting her, or whatever, and people clap. Well, not clap. They laughed, they grinned, they giggled, and I guess yeah, it's kind of humorous. Oh, because I didn't actually do it. I thought about doing it, but I didn't actually do it. But why would you admit to thinking about doing that? I've had issues with people from family, from just everywhere, but I've never thought about striking out against any of them. I mean, keep your hands to yourself, and especially with talking about using a weapon. But again, I wouldn't know any of this about him if he weren't going around telling people this. So all I can say is, if you want to paint yourself as a viable candidate for really any office, don't go around and slander your own name. That's why I can't believe this man is seriously running for president. I think all he's trying to do is sell his book. Here's what he's gonna do. He's gonna take these stories. He's gonna write another book. He's gonna say, okay, I said this during the campaign. This happened. Because after he pulls out of this, because we know he will, he'll talk about his campaign and all the different things about, oh, I said this and they went and CNN did this, and it'll be, the book's writing itself right now. He's gonna write a whole book talking about his campaign and his silent rise, and how the stations tried to portray him in a bad way. And then people will go and buy that. And he'll make more money. This is not a presidential campaign. This is a presidential book tour. And I'll refer to his campaign as such for the duration of it. It's a fake. It's a fraud. And it's just like the other video I see was scamming. He's scamming now. You can't go around and think people are this gullible. Like, no one was ever going to find out, oh, well, I did this and I did that, but it's not too bad. I mean, who admits to that and is really saying, oh, I'm going to be in the Oval Office in not even 2 years?